Hello and welcome back. My name is Matthew Costa, for those of you who don't know, and I am a boudoir photographer. Today I'm going to be talking about what lens is the right lens to use for your boudoir photography. So let's get right into it. Now, lens choice has always been a bit of a controversial topic amongst photographers. Everybody has their own opinions and everybody thinks this lens or that lens is the perfect best lens. Everyone's opinion is going to be different, but that's okay. We all shoot differently. That's part of what makes us creatives, is that we all have a different approach to creating what we want to create. Now, these are going to be my opinions on what I think are not only my favorite lenses, but I think the best lenses for somebody starting out and who doesn't really know much about portraiture or boudoir photography. Now, the lenses I have here are my Sony 85mm f1.8. This is the FE mount version. That's because I shoot with Sony cameras. And the other lens I have and suggest is a 50mm, this being the 50mm f1.4 FD lens. Now, if you're wondering why I shoot with vintage glass, you can check out the video up here or in the link in the description. Now, getting back on topic, the reason I chose those two lenses is because of their optical properties of their focal lengths. Now, let's get into that. Starting with the 85mm f1.8. 85mm as a focal length is amazing. As boudoir photographers, we're not working in large outdoor spaces where we can use a 70-200 like a wedding photographer would. We're also not working in studio spaces where we can use something like a 135 prime. So 85 is really perfect because it's long enough that we're going to get the benefits of a telephoto lens for portraits, which is going to be that facial compression and the way it renders a scene very naturally, and it compresses the background, isolating our subject, which for boudoir is very important because they're the focus of the image, right? Is the person, it's their beauty, their natural beauty, and we want to be able to highlight that the best way we can. So something like an 85mm lens is going to do an excellent job to highlight the focal point of the image and get rid of everything else that could be distracting from the woman's natural beauty. Not only is the 85mm lens long enough to do that, it's also not so long that we're not able to shoot with it indoors. 85mm is a wide enough angle or field of view that we're going to be able to work indoors, in small hotel rooms, in bedrooms, in wherever it is you're doing your boudoir photo shoot. You're going to be able to maneuver around with the lens. You're going to be able to get some beautiful headshots, head and shoulders, medium shots, beautiful shots that are going to isolate your subject and show off their true beauty without distracting the viewer by everything else that would be in the frame. Moving on, we have our 50mm lens. This is really great because it's a little bit shorter than 85, so it works in some situations where an 85 just wouldn't. One huge benefit of the 50mm is actually the fact that it is a little bit wider, because again, we're working in small spaces, so if I want to get a full body shot, it's going to be a lot easier to do that with the 50 versus the 85. So having both lenses on set makes a huge difference in being able to capture the kind of images that I want to capture without being held back by my lenses. Another thing I love about the 50mm is I tend to have a closer focusing distance on the 50, so I can get really, really close and get really intimate with my model. 50mm is not so wide that when I get that close, I'm not going to get a lot of distortion. Again, that may depend on the quality of your lens, but for the most part, a 50mm lens optically won't distort like crazy, and your subject will still look very flattering. There'll still be enough of a compression that they won't look kind of weird like they would with a wide angle lens where their nose is stretched out. And that intimate feel that you can get from a 50mm lens makes a huge difference with boudoir, especially because boudoir is all about that sense of intimacy, sensuality, confidence, comfort, and beauty. To be able to show that off in your images is a huge thing. To get that close to your model and be able to see and feel that closeness in your images shows that your model is confident and they're comfortable, that they feel comfortable in their own skin. And it's really how you're going to be able to take your images from good to great and be able to sell a lot of them to your client through things such as albums. If I had to recommend one lens to start with, I would honestly have to go with the 50mm because it's just versatile enough that you're going to be able to get every kind of shot you would need for a boudoir photo shoot all in one. It's small, it's light, and they're going to be more affordable than a nice quality 85mm lens will be. However, I still think the 85mm is my personal favorite for Boudoir, just because I love the way it renders the model and it renders the whole scene. It's just such a beautiful focal length that I would never give it up for the world. All in all, those have been my thoughts on which lens is better for you as a boudoir photographer starting out. If you liked the video, please be sure to leave a like down below. If you really liked the video and you want more content from me, please be sure to subscribe, as I make new videos about photography and videography every single week, so you don't want to miss out on any future content coming out from me. Thank you very much. This has been Matthew Costa, and have a great day.